All right, we are going live. All right, live stream did a new thing. I could see like how it would look on the phone
No,
and how it would look on the screen. And Abby, you're having some technical difficulties,
your
yeah? But can
computer
we hear
doesn't.
you?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
It says I don't have a camera on my computer anymore, but I promise I do. So I'm not really
Yeah.
sure what's on here.
Well, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
I hope that your vocals are coming through because I've added you to the stage, and I'm not really sure how to troubleshoot it since I'm not there on your end. But we are here for another installment of Snacks. This is week number 47. Oh goodness, and we are on the brink of Thanksgiving. A lot to be grateful for. It's been a fantastic year, 2025. What's big in your world this past week, Abby?
Um, I've gotten some really fun brand deals this past week, which has been really nice. Everything there is doing really good, which I'm excited about. And I feel like I've noticed that I'm adjusting well to the cold, I'd say. Like the weather was the same like last week, and I was like going outside in like a million layers and a million jackets, but this week I've been able to go out in just like a hoodie and jeans, and I'm like this is okay. And I'm really proud of myself for that. So, and I'm excited to come home. That's my week.
All right, very good. Yeah, last night your brother had some of his old high school friends, or not high school, but like lifelong friends back. And it's just always interesting to see, when they get to see each other. Oh, look, Sue's coming in. Cool. Oh, hey, Sue, what's happening?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Abby is with us. She's just having a hard time activating a camera from whatever's going on. A little bit of technical difficulty, but we're here. It's KloobySnack number 47. It's a special time of the year here in the United States. We're on the verge of celebrating Thanksgiving, so we're inching up on a time to reflect and take a deep breath and slow down the pace and unplug and reconnect and all of the good things, right? But so we've got a KloobySnack in store tonight. By now, everybody should know that KloobySnacks are divided into 4 baker's dozens. So we started the year with loving flavored, 13 KloobySnacks out of loving flavored. Then we moved on to ego flavored, ego being our sense of self, right? 13 KloobySnacks there. Then 13 KloobySnacks in discipline, right? The willingness to like delay gratification, dedicate to reality, things of that nature. Discipline, not like punishment discipline, but like discipline as a character, discipline as a skill set, discipline as a mindset, discipline as a willpower, if you will. And then that brings us to where we are now, which is our integrity flavored baker's dozen. And tonight's number 47 overall, but I believe it's the 8th in this particular cookie jar. So, Abby, did you have anything else you wanted to say about how your week has been before I review the snacks that we've covered to date in this section?
No, I don't think so. I'll think maybe later.
Okay. And you can see our screen okay? Like when I go to screen sharing and I pull up the PDF of the book, you'll be fine?
On my end. It's just when I turn my camera on, it says your device does not have a camera.
Huh. Oh. All right. Huh. Well, okay. Well, we're just going to roll anyway. So here we go. This baker's dozen, the integrity flavored baker's dozen, started with number 40. Behavior is the evidence of our integrity. Then number 41, honesty is a strategy. A lie is a tactic. Then 42, accountability will always feel like an attack when we're not ready to be 100% responsible for our own behavior. To me, like, that's the essence of the whole thing, right? KloobySnacks are trying to make it easy and fun to look within. This KloobySnack is front and center in our play. Number 43, we are never guilty of ignorance, but we are always guilty when willfully ignorant. I think tonight's snack kind of ties into the vibration of number 43 a little bit. But then number 44, critical thinking creates ideas. Strategic thinking makes them work. This is a KloobySnack I particularly remember allowing, not interrupting, but allowing Abby to rewrite a little bit into words that made more sense for her from the original form. And then number 45, never let the possibility of not achieving your goal prevent you from pursuing your goal. Sue knows quite well that in the actual integrity game, the book, the integrity game, the 10-point model, the integrity game that supports the work that I do as a coach, trainer, consultant, speaker, etc., we know that goal setting is one of the 10 points on the model. And there's a lot of content around what prevents people from setting goals and how goal setting relates to high achievement and what prevents people from setting goals and strategies for setting goals and the accountability and behavioral change that can be embedded in the process of goal setting. And a lot of times the value of setting a goal isn't necessarily in achieving it. It's actually in the pursuit of it and what happens along the way and setting the intention, etc. So I just a little bit of, Kluba dive on snack number 45 there. All right. Number 46, if you don't know your purpose, how can you ever know what anything is really worth? Right? Purpose is in the pole position on the 10-point model in the integrity game. And then finally, that leads us to tonight. Abby, are you ready for tonight's snack? I'm going to get ready to screen share so you can do your thing. Huh? You ready to rock and roll?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, before we rock and roll, Sue, do you have any wins to share about how your week was? You're taking the time to join us. Thought maybe we'll jump into the conversation. Any comments on the collection of KloobySnacks we've covered in this section or how your week has been or anything before we get started with tonight's snack?
Just that each of the snacks tends to be a bit of a because it's like, oh, yes, forgotten about that. So it's always a good prompt to go.
Yeah.
Brings it front of mind.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, you know what? I have a win to share actually. Abby, are you with me? Do you remember a couple weeks back when I was excited over like taking like a thing of Tupperware and taking the cover and ripping the cover off of one of the books and taping it to the Tupperware and putting Mom's real KloobySnacks, homemade cookies in like real authentic KloobySnacks in the jar and taking them to my networking event. And I passed the jar around and I watched all these professionals like reach their hand into this like makeshift cookie jar of KloobySnacks. But like, the leader of the event, the host, Kimberly, I gave her a special care package, her own little like, hey, I'll let everybody else pull from the jar, but here, these are for you, along with her own book of KloobySnacks. A handwritten thank you note showed up in the mail today for that. I thought I'd let you know. Nice. Yeah, just super warm. It's that time of year, right? The gratitude is the attitude. Everybody's and KloobySnacks are just a great way to show you care. All right. Yep. Are you ready, Abby, for number 47? I'll get the screen sharing. Yeah, so ready. I'll put it up on the board here and then let me share. Number 47 is many people say they have to, quote, when truthfully they choose to. Abby, take it away.
While working on this book, we ran into a few scheduling conflicts. I'm in school every day until almost 4 p.m. while my dad is running between meetings and teaching classes. While I'm home, he's on calls, and while he's home, I tend to not be. That's funny. In order to find time for us to sit down together and talk about the book and its progress, my dad would ask me about my plans for each day, seeing if our free time ever aligned. I'd tell him about the things I have to do, such as hang out with my friends, go shopping, see my ex-boyfriend, get ice cream. Very typical, not funny. Very typical high school. Stop! It's not funny. Can I read?
Okay, sorry, it's not funny.
Very typical high school girl things. However, none of these things were required of me at all. I chose to make plans with my friends. I choose to make plans with my friends. I choose to spend my free time socializing. Saying that I have to do something that I truthfully choose to do allows me to excuse myself from my responsibilities. The difference between have to and choose to is the difference between an opportunity versus a responsibility. Our responsibilities are our have-tos. Those are the things we either commit to or that are inherently our responsibility to get done. Our opportunities are choose-tos. These are optional, and although we can commit to these opportunities, our responsibilities come first. My dad has always drilled this concept into my mind where our responsibilities should always come before the fun things. Before I hang out with my friends, I need to walk the dogs. Before I hang out with my friends, I need to clean my room. Dinner before dessert, water before juice, homework before TikTok time. Organizing your opportunities and responsibilities in order of importance all begins with how you view each thing you need to do. Calling one of your choose-tos a have-to will confuse your prioritization, allowing you to put off the things you truthfully need to do.
Get down. Wow. Abby, can we start all over again? Can you read this one again, please?
You're funny.
That's it. I'm teasing. All right. Well, first of all, I definitely want to ask Sue what she thinks about this, but not before I ask you, Abby, what I always ask you every week, right? Some of it's a little obvious, of course, but how do you feel reading what you wrote a year ago-ish, now that you've had such a big year in between then and now? And of course, it was obvious that then you were writing in the present tense when you choose instead of chose, but now you're reading it in the past tense. I thought that was kind of cute, right? But go ahead. What do you have to say? Like what's the time warp of it all? Yeah.
I think it's interesting thinking about these things that I was writing about, like the things that I was mistaking, like as like have tos that were actually the choose tos. I'm thinking about all of those things that were all very that were mentioned in there. And I can't remember, or I can't like place any importance on any of those things now. And I think it's really interesting, like, because you always tell me, like, oh, like you have like a million things you could be doing. Like, you don't need to go see this person or go do this thing. Like, these aren't important. And I was like, Dad, you just don't get it. And I'm really not trying to give you credit when I'm saying any of this. I hope you know. But and I'm like, I really want to stress that once again. I'm not trying to do that. But I remember being like, oh, like you just don't get it, like whatever. But I can't, like, all of those people then that I was trying to see, like, I have no place in my life now, and it's like these were all the most unimportant things. So I'm not saying you were right or that I was wrong. I just I think
noted. I got that part. No right or wrong. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting. The fact of the matter is, you don't even remember with any specificity any of that stuff that you were referring to. And it was interesting for me, at the time to try to, it's like it's delicate balance, right? It's like, how do you let her know without pushing too much? How do you get on record for knowing what you know, so you can, like, at least later on have the benefit of like, ooh, like, yeah, it's not right or wrong, but Dad was trying to do what Dad was trying to do, which is like help you maximize your time and optimize your time and preserve and protect your time for your genius, your brilliance, your potential, what I know you're capable of. So it's, you never want to be the messenger that gets shot, which is what I've braved all the years. But I also, don't want to avoid confrontation so much that I'll keep my mouth shut and then regret not trying to teach you what I know I'm supposed to be teaching you, Yeah.
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 All right. Anything else to comment on before I ask Sue to reflect on hers? Eve, jumping in and dropping in and watching this conversation is kind of fun. Our relationship is on display, Abby. That's how strong we are, or how silly we are, or both. Right. What do you got, Sue? What comes to mind here? Yeah.
Abby, well, first up, Abby, I always appreciate your honesty and your reflections. Power to you, because I reckon you must be like, actually, I'd be interested to get some insights without giving away too much detail if it's too confronting. Like, I would have said that through this process and through this awareness, because I certainly didn't have this awareness at your age. So that's why I'm asking this. I'm imagining that you are now finding yourself able to make decisions in a way that or you're way more confident that you're going to be able to turn around in a few years' time and go, hey, I knew exactly what I was doing and I knew why. And that was important to me. I'd be interested. Does that show, is that showing up for you?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the times in the moment, I won't recognize, like, oh, I'm like, this behavior is different because of KloobySnacks, or I've changed this way, or I'm like different than my peers in this way. Like, in the moment, I don't really think about that. But then, like, after, like, especially during these calls every Sunday with my dad, and I get to like reflect on like a specific KloobySnack or just KloobySnacks as a whole, and the process, like, then I get to see like, oh, I am behaving differently because of this project that I did, or this snack that I wrote on, and like writing about it and talking about it and listening to my dad's opinions on it has actually changed these things that I'm doing, and changed my behavior, and changed the way I think and the way that I talk to people. So it is very rewarding when it's like in the moment I don't realize it. And a lot of the times I'll like I talk about this a lot, where I find myself like quoting KloobySnacks on accident, or like, or just like I'll talk for a little bit, and then I sit back and I'm like, wow, I sound a lot like my dad. Just very interesting. But yeah, I don't really notice in the moment, but I there is like many times where I like get to sit back and be like, wow, like I have changed very positively because of like this like mass reflection that I've been able to do with my dad. So that's been really special. And like in this one specifically, I feel like I have gotten a lot better at like identifying my have tos versus choose tos. Even when sometimes I do prioritize the choose tos over the have tos, and we'll work on that. But I am able to identify in the moment, like, oh, I should, like, this isn't that important, and I'll still go through with it, but I'm not like misplacing my importance, if that makes sense. I'm not like something unimportant and being like, no, this is the most important thing that I have to do right now. Which I think that like recognition in itself is something to be proud of and like acknowledge. A lot of that too, like this project.
Yeah. And one thing that I've noticed for myself is that because I've met my responsibilities, you know, shifting between the have tos and the choose tos, because I've met the have tos, then I can give myself permission to go, I can quite happily, with no feeling of guilt or that I should be doing something else, choose to sit and watch a show on television, or have some time out, or just sit and do literally nothing. And I think that's where it becomes really powerful too, because you can quite comfortably give yourself permission to go, I recognize this is a choose to, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think when I found myself like misplacing importance between things, the choose tos never even, or not never, but it felt way less rewarding, or didn't feel rewarding at all. It wasn't like, oh, I'm rewarding myself and I get to go spend time with my friends, when I was viewing like the like socializing as like, oh, I have to do this. There was it wasn't as rewarding. So then when you like are able to identify this as something that you're choosing to do and that you get to do, and like a reward, you in turn somehow get more out of it. And I'm able to like appreciate like, oh, I'm gonna like spend this time like doing all my work, and then after I get to go do this, and it's rewarding. Whereas before it was like, I have to go see my friends right now, I have to go do this, which I never did. And I think like I don't know, there's a lot in just like the identifying the have tos and choose tos, and then like in turn there's so much in that.
I agree totally with you. Way more reward. Go, Jeff.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Sue. Go.
I'm just going. Yeah, I'm just agreeing. I'm agreeing with Abby that I think there's more enjoyment and reward when you've met your have tos, and you can go, hey, this is really cool. I can go out and
that's what I want to jump in. And what we're talking about is interesting. Like when we were cutting it up, when we were dividing all of the quotes or the KloobySnacks and putting them into the respective jars of the baker's dozens, from the perspective that we're talking about tonight's snack so far, and I'll put it back up on the board so we can see it. And by the way, shout out to all the eyeballs that I see popping through. We're getting a lot more eyeballs tonight than I've seen in other nights. So hats off and shout out to those of you that are watching online. If you want to jump into the conversation and join us, it's always the same URL, tinyurl.com/KloobySnack, in whatever week of the year it is, number 47 in this week's case, right? And then number 47 is the number of snack that we're on as well. But what I'm going to get at here is that you're talking about like must-tos versus have-tos, like being able to know the difference, right? And then so far the conversation is around prioritization, like, oh my God, those things that I thought I had to do, they mean nothing to me now. And I couldn't see it then. And the benefit of reflection. And even though now I am a little bit more self-aware, sure, I'll still make the less disciplined choice, but at least I'm aware that I'm making that rather than unaware and ignorant to the frame at all. At least I'm giving myself a chance, right? And then we talk about, well, it feels better when I'm doing my want tos or my choose tos, knowing that I've done my true have tos. If I really nailed my have tos, then I can do my choose tos guilt free. I'm a big fan of guilt free choose to, right? But I say all of that and summarizing all of that, it's still, interestingly to me, it's in the category of discipline, right? This snack, from all of the conversation that we've had about it so far, could have gone into the cookie jar, the discipline flavored cookie jar, because we're talking about, delaying gratification. We're talking about weighing, must-haves versus want-to-haves, or need tos versus want tos, or have tos versus nice tos, or right. And so it's all in the vibration, right? And I say all of that to say this. I'm going to share my screen. When I wrote about the KloobySnack in preview, or in setting the calendar in appointment for the email that I send out to the database to invite people to show up, I'll read it out loud. It goes a little something like this, right? Language is one of 3 windows we can look through in our efforts to see/understand someone's mindset, including especially our own. Very simple and subtle choices we make when encoding our thoughts, ideas, and feelings show up in our words. Examples include hate versus dislike, should versus could, spend versus invest, and have to versus choose to. We'll explain further when you join us tonight. So do you see what I'm doing there? And Abby, let me ask you. Sue, I'll come to you second. But Abby, do you see what I'm doing there in my shift, in my interpretation? What's on my mind with this snack? Is it necessarily the delayed gratification of, let me eat all of my oats before I eat my marshmallows? And by the way, Brody got busted yesterday morning. We said, hey, Abby, you're going to smile. Brody, did you have breakfast? Yeah. What did you have? Cereal? Mom's like, we're out of milk. How did you have cereal? He's like, well, I just ate the marshmallows. Damn it! Oh, anyway, we've been teaching you since you were 4 years old to eat the oats first, and then you'll have all marshmallows left. Come on, Brody, delay gratification. All right, never mind all of that. Right, Abby, let me ask you about the different lens of language, and how language is one of the 3 lenses we could look through to understand mindset of another, especially our own. Sue, I know that you could have a lot to say about this because you're a certified integrity game coach, and we've gone through this dance a little bit. But you understand what I'm saying when I say language is one of 3 windows I can look through to understand somebody's mindset. Abby, what do you have to say about this language lens?
I'm actually happy that you brought this up, because this entire time I've been thinking about this one. You might not remember this, thinking about this one very specific instance, but I didn't know how to tie it into what we were talking about. But one time in 6th grade, I was in a show at my school, a play at my school, Twilight Zone. And I would always come home and tell you guys about the director and how he was so interesting. And I loved the way that he saw the show and the way that he taught us. And it was something that I hadn't ever experienced before. And you ran into him at our local pizza place, and you texted me and you sent me a picture of you and him. And I responded in all caps. And I said, no way, you got to meet Mr. Augustine. And you came home and you told me about how I said, no, I didn't just say you met Mr. Augustine. I said, you got to, you get to do this. This is an opportunity. And you brought that up to me and emphasized what that means and the difference that that one word made. And I remember being so interested by it, and that, and I don't really know if you would compare that to have to versus get to, but I don't know, you came back and you emphasized that I said you get to, and how what that means in regards to how I view him. And I don't know, and I've that was literally 6 7 years ago, but I think about it quite frequently, and every time I notice myself saying you get to do this, or I get to do this, I think back to that, because I would have never understood the difference in that word if that wasn't pointed out by you when I was in 6th grade. So that's what I have to share.
Yeah, it's totally relevant. And, this is what I mean. The language, right? You could have said, oh, you met him, or you ran into him, or, oh my God, how embarrassing. Or there's a gazillion things you could have said. Mm-hmm. You follow? But yeah, and I wouldn't have remembered that specific instance or 1,000 others that I'm just grateful to have landed, that that we have the benefit of seeing what comes out as the years progress here. And that's been the wonderful things about this project, is seeing how much I've been wanting to share with you actually has gotten in there and is then now available to you. It's help me like not be so afraid of you moving out and moving on with your life. Like again, we've talked about all of that. People say, "Are you sad? Is it tough?" I'm like, "Hell no!" I'm no offense, but I'm not sad at all, and it's not hard at all. It's just wonderful. Because of how much I've learned through this project, is with you and will carry on and will serve you. But that's definitely an example. And Sue, let me ask you about this now, right? The language piece, not just discipline and delaying gratification, but listening to when somebody's, Abigail's example is perfect. You got to. By using the word got to, that means that she really likes her director. She considers it a privilege that I got to meet him. Like, wow, now it's like I can lean in and support her even more in theater because she's excited and she's got great mentoring. And just from that one word, and that is a perfect example, Abby. And then Sue, from the coaching perspective and what we know about language and access to mindset and helping our clients change behavior, what say you when we talk about this difference now when we're like coaching, or when we're with our our cherished relationships, coworkers, friends, and peers, and people say I have to, and we know that they don't have to, and we're hearing them say have to, and we just, because we're trained to listen for language choices to have access to mindset. What do you have to say, if anything?
Two aspects. I think it's a reminder to be conscious of the language that I'm using myself, for one, and choosing my words wisely and in a way that does convey the true intent of what I want to say, and not to be lazy in my choice of words. The other element too is being more conscious of the language that people are using, whether it be in a coaching situation or just in a conversation. And through that awareness, be ready to go a little bit deeper and say, well, do you really mean that? Or do you actually mean something else? And just invite whoever's making the comment to reflect a little bit on what they're saying.
Just a little bit. Right? Like, again, this is KloobySnacks. We want to make it easy and fun to look within. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of self-reflection might make the world a sweeter place. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Abby, we're going to roll right now into last call. What do you feel about that? Last call for comments, questions, jokes, riddles. It's been a very fun installment of KloobySnacks. We got a little bit of the discipline piece, but a little bit of the integrity piece, because let's face it, a lot of times when people say they have to, they're out of integrity because it's just not true. And a lot of times they're clinging to something or avoiding something else and using this have to and making up, like, oh really, which of your arms will fall off if you don't?
You've said that to me so many times, and I don't.
Abby, take it away.
That like, I can't explain how angry that used to make me, and I can like admit now, like I do see where you were coming from, but still, like, that is never something that
doesn't mean I'm right. That doesn't mean I'm right. Just because you can now see where I was.
My point is that is never a sentence that a 16-year-old girl wants to hear when I'm trying to go get ice cream with my friends, and you're like, oh, whatever. I can't. Anyways, that's my piece.
All right. Sue, last call. Last call for comments, questions, reflections, jokes.
I just love hearing the anecdotes, the stories, your growth, Abby. It is inspirational. And I mean that. And I really think you should be proud of your awareness and use that to your advantage. Like, go for it, girl. You've got so much to give to your peers, to your world, I reckon, because of your insights. And I just commend you in doing the project with you, Jet. I think it's amazing, and I thoroughly enjoy every session. I have a chuckle because I'm like, oh my goodness, I was not like that at your age.
Thank you. That means a lot hearing from somebody other than my dad, actually. So thank you.
I really mean it, Abby.
I hope nobody's embarrassed when I do this, but I want to bring up like the picture of the day if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. It doesn't look like I can do it. Abby sent us like the picture of the day.
What?
But it's not coming through. Never mind. I can't find it. Yeah. Well, I'm trying. Yeah, no. I'm trying to. Let's see.
What does picture of the day mean?
No, I'm trying to Chrome tab. No. You
Hello?
sent this picture of like your friends. You sent this picture of your friends all had a copy of KloobySnacks in their hands. It was awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it won't let me share the image, so
right.
I'm not gonna force it. But anyway, I don't have anything else. I'm pleased. You know, Abigail, I love you so much. It's great that you're doing this consistently. I love not being right with you. It's always great to see you. Sue, especially tonight when Abby can't come on with her camera for some reason. Hopefully you get that resolved. Maybe we try to log on a little early next week and see if we can get that resolved.
I did drop my computer about an hour or two ago, so I don't know if that did something to it, but it fell.
Yeah. Well, let's see if you get troubleshoot if you can get on Zooms or other programs, or see if your camera works elsewhere. Anyway, but I don't have anything else for tonight. It's been wonderful to do another installment of KloobySnacks. We're inching towards this here in the United States. So there's a lot of warmth and a lot of connection. And like I said, I was silly about it in the beginning, but it's true. It means a lot. And I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody's warm. I hope everybody's feeling grateful. I hope everybody got a little bit of love and laughter out of tonight's KloobySnack. Anything else from anyone before we dismiss for tonight?
No.
Not for me.
All right, we're gonna have a special time next Sunday. It'll be KloobySnacks will be at a special time because Abby's gonna be on the plane at our normal time, or you're gonna be traveling. I think, aren't you, Abby? I'm not sure, but anyway, special time for KloobySnacks next week. So keep your eyes open for that. We'll try to get it posted as early as possible so everybody can make their arrangements. But otherwise, have a safe and healthy and fulfilling reconnective week. Having fun, looking within, but also connecting with those that you love the most. We'll see everybody next week. Good night.
Wishing you all happy Thanksgiving too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah.